The Krusty Krab, a place loved by all the citizens of Bikini Bottom, known for its famous Krabby Patties and its penny-pinching owner, Mr. Krabs. Have you ever wondered why Mr. Krabs is so obsessed with money? Why he seems to value every penny like it's the most important thing in the world? What if his love for money is not just because he's a miser, but because of something much darker in his past? And what if the Krusty Krab wasn't always a restaurant? What if it has a secret history that Mr. Krabs doesn't want anyone to know? These are questions that have never crossed the minds of most SpongeBob fans. But today we're diving deep into the dark past of Mr. Krabs and uncovering the shocking secrets that have been locked away for years. Get ready, because this story is about to change everything you thought you knew about the Krusty Krab. Let's start with what we all know about Mr. Krabs. He loves money more than anything else. We see this in almost every episode he's in, like in Clams, where he risks his life and everything he owns just to get back a single dollar. But why would anyone go to such extreme lengths for just $1? It's not just about greed. There's something deeper here. Something in Mr. Krabs' past that makes him hold on to every penny like his life depends on it. Now, let's talk about the Krusty Krab itself. We know it as a fast food restaurant, but what if it wasn't always that? In the episode Friend or Foe, we see Mr. Krabs and Plankton, when they were younger, trying to start their own business. But the episode doesn't tell us the whole story. What if the Krusty Krab has a much darker past? Could it have been something completely different before it became a restaurant? Maybe it was a military outpost, or even a secret laboratory during Mr. Krabs' days in the Navy. To understand why Mr. Krabs is so obsessed with money, we need to look at his past. In the episode Shell of a Man, we learn that Mr. Krabs was once a naval officer. He was tough, brave, and in charge of a crew. But what if something terrible happened during his time in the Navy? Imagine this. Mr. Krabs was in charge of a secret military outpost, a place that held important secrets or advanced technology. Then, something went horribly wrong. Maybe there was an attack, a failed experiment, or even a betrayal. Whatever it was, Mr. Krabs lost everything, his crew, his friends, and even his sense of safety. All that was left was the building we now know as the Krusty Krab. After losing everything, Mr. Krabs decided to start over. He took the only thing he had left, the outpost or lab that survived the disaster, and turned it into a restaurant. But the trauma from losing everything didn't go away. It changed him. From that point on, Mr. Krabs became obsessed with money. To him, money meant safety. It meant never being vulnerable or powerless again. The Krusty Krab isn't just a restaurant to Mr. Krabs, it's a fortress, a safe place where he can control his fate and protect himself from the dangers of the world. But there are more clues that suggest the Krusty Krab wasn't always just a restaurant. Have you ever noticed how the building looks more like a bunker than a typical fast food joint? Its thick walls and heavy doors seem built to withstand more than just hungry customers. And what about the industrial equipment we sometimes see inside? Could these be left over from its time as a military outpost or lab? Mr. Krabs might have repurposed this equipment to keep his business running, but its origins hint at a much more secretive and possibly dangerous past. Have you ever wondered why it's called the Krusty Krab? The name itself is peculiar, isn't it? In most episodes, we see the name written in old crusty lettering, almost like it's been around for centuries. But what if the name isn't just a quirky choice? What if it's a clue to its past? The word crusty could refer to something old, weathered, or even something that's been through a lot of wear and tear, like an old naval outpost or bunker. And Krab? That might not just be a play on Mr. Krabs' name, but a code or abbreviation used during his military days. Perhaps the Krusty Krab was a code name for a top-secret project or facility, now disguised as a humble burger joint. Mr. Krabs' obsession with money isn't just about greed, it's about security. After losing everything once before, he's determined to never let that happen again. The Krusty Krab isn't just a business, it's a fortress, a symbol of his survival. Every dollar he earns is another layer of protection, another barrier between him and the world that once took everything from him. His love for money is really a deep fear of loss, a fear that drives everything he does. Have you ever noticed the special bond between Mr. Krabs and the SpongeBob? In the very first episode, Help Wanted, SpongeBob asks Mr. Krabs for a job and calls him Captain. Why would SpongeBob, a simple soon-to-be fry cook, refer to Mr. Krabs as Captain, unless they had some sort of history together? This could be a hint that SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs knew each other before the Krusty Krab was even a restaurant. Maybe they both served in the Navy together, with Mr. Krabs as SpongeBob's commanding officer. This would explain why SpongeBob is so loyal to Mr. Krabs and why Mr. Krabs trusts SpongeBob with his secrets. Mr. Krabs runs the Krusty Krab with military precision. In the episode Missing Identity, we see him conduct a surprise uniform inspection, just like a drill sergeant. SpongeBob and Squidward line up, and Mr. Krabs scrutinizes every detail, even telling Squidward to shave his nose hairs. This isn't normal behavior for a fast food manager. It's the kind of discipline you'd expect from someone with a military background. It's clear that Mr. Krabs still runs the Krusty Krab like it's an outpost in the Navy, with strict rules and a focus on order. And then there's the Krabby Patties secret formula, the most closely guarded secret in all of Bikini Bottom. But what if the formula isn't just a recipe for a delicious burger? In Friend or Foe, we catch a brief glimpse of the formula, but it's written in code. And in Krabby Road, we see it again. But the words are strange, almost like a cipher. What if the secret formula is actually a coded military plan or a piece of advanced technology that Mr. Krabs is hiding? This would explain why he's so protective of it and why Plankton is so desperate to steal it. Because it's not just about making money, it's about power and control. So, the next time you visit the Krusty Krab or see Mr. Krabs counting his money, remember that there might be more to his story than just greed. The Krusty Krab might not have always been a restaurant. It could be a place with a dark and mysterious past. A past that shaped Mr. Krabs into the money-obsessed character we see today. So, the next time you watch SpongeBob, pay attention to the details. You might just uncover a secret history that's been hiding in plain sight all along. If you think you can handle it to hear more dark SpongeBob theories, then don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one, if you dare.